Okay, vlog here, vlog on Bayern Munchen, dos, Atletico Madrid, uno. Bayern winning 2-1 on the night, but of course crashing out of the Champions League by virtue of the away goal rule. So Atletico march on to the final for a shot at revenge, having lost to Real Madrid in the 2014 Champions League final. So it's two Champions League finals in the space of 3 years for El Cholo Simeone and Atletico. A huge achievement, regardless of the outcome in the final. So, looking at tonight's game, so Bayern go out, but just let me say from the off that I don't like to go into too big extremes. Like, I wouldn't be waxing too lyrical over Atletico by creeping through on away goals, and by the same token, I'm not going to write Pep Guardiola's obituary as a manager. I think it's mildly ridiculous, the extreme levels that you see on Twitter, using Twitter as a barometer. So, put it straight out there. You can't just look at tonight. You need to look at the two legs. Bayern played the better football over the two legs. Tonight, they completely dominated the first 45 minutes, and Atletico were very lucky not to find themselves 2-0 down at half time. They had their brilliant goalkeeper Oblak to thank for that. He saved Thomas Muller's penalty. They were completely under the cosh, as the cliche goes, and they'd come to just sit back, and Torres and Griezmann didn't get a kick in the first half. They just basically sat back and were trying to soak up that pressure and over speculated on the defensive system that they put in place, and they were lucky that it didn't cost them. So looking at that first half tonight then, just looking through the teams, Xabi Alonso rolling back the years. He can barely walk anymore, let alone run, but my man, can he still ping a pass around. He was instrumental there, kind of playing as the deep line playmaker, the registra as they call him in Italian, or the quarterback as a lot of people refer to that type of player now. So Alonso and Vidal pulling the strings in Bayern's midfield, but they weren't helped much by Lewandowski's lack of movement and basically crap performance the whole night. So Lewandowski did end up heading the ball in for the goal in the second half, but he was really poor by the standards he sets in the Bundesliga every week. Frank Ribery, full-time Frankie, was actually Bayern's best player in the first half, I would say. He was causing havoc down the left wing to the rolly-smoking Madrid bookseller Juan Fran. And then if you look at the other side of Atletico's defence, Felipe Luis, wow, quick mention for him. Geronimo with his headband and parted hair, looks like the Native American warrior. It reminds me of him, well, at least in his playing style. Douglas Costa didn't get past him the whole first half. Douglas Costa, by the way, who could barely even control the ball. He looked mildly tipsy. Couldn't control the ball, couldn't pass the ball. And he was rightly taken off by Pep in the 72nd minute. Kingsley Coman then came on and proceeded to contribute more in the space of 30 seconds and make more of an impact than Douglas Costa had in the previous 72. So, fast forward quickly to Coman's introduction. All right, so yeah, we talked about the first half. Bayern went in 1-0 at half time, thanks to Xabi Alonso's deflected free kick, but really could have been 2 or 3. Thomas Muller, they call him the space invader in German circles, couldn't find much space tonight. He was left out of the first leg. When he did find space, there was this one amazing moment when Boateng found him over the top, and rather than shoot, he decided to lay it off to Lewandowski in the box, in the 6-yard box. On hindsight, it's very easy. Hindsight is 2020. You could say he should have just taken the shot on, but it actually looked like a good decision to lay it off to Lewandowski there. Straight on to the second half, and I fast forwarded there to Coleman's introduction. I'll just bring it back a bit to how the second half started out. So Atletico immediately looked a little bit more positive thanks to the change of bringing on Carrasco for Augusto, which, without even seeing how they're going to play, is good because Carrasco actually plays football rather than Augusto, who's just a stopping midfielder. And Carrasco, the Belgian, who Ireland are going to play against in Euro 2016, was brilliant, just as he's been brilliant for Atletico generally this season. At the Camp Nou, for example, in the quarterfinal first leg, there was a big game changer when he had to be taken off due to Torres' red card. Atletico then had to become more defensive. Tonight, it was the reverse situation. Atletico immediately became more progressive and more attacking with his introduction. So they get their goal back through their only real attack of the game at that point. Fernando El Niño Torres playing through Antoine Griezmann, who was just onside by a hair. Was the coolest man on the pitch to stroke the ball past Manuel Neuer. So now at this point, Bayern need 2 goals to go through because of the away goals. They get their one back through Lewandowski. So that was largely thanks to Kingsley Coman's brilliant contribution, crossing the ball in. Vidal headed it back, and Lewandowski had the simple task of heading into the empty net. Kingsley Coman, by the way, it was a weird one because on the one hand he injected great life and vigour into the game for Bayern, but on the other hand he was a bit overzealous with his decision making and snatched at a few shots rather than crossing. You know, and he's only 19. His inexperience cost him. He was a bit too eager. Obviously, having made an assist for the goal, he wanted to do everything. So then we're at 2-1 to Bayern here on the night. If you can keep track of my little match report, and then Atletico go and get a penalty through El Niño Torres, who wins a penalty which was a yard outside the box, but whatever. Justice was served as his penalty was saved. But Torres still proves to be the hero of the night as the whistle was blown and Atletico go through on away goals. So like I said, it's a funny one with going out on away goals or going through on away goals in Atletico's case. I do feel for Bayern and Pep. I feel tonight, they were much deserved winners on the night. And then if you go back to the first leg, there was the whole mystery around Atletico's extra long grass. You had Pep Guardiola had a Bayern member of staff actually measure the grass with the calipers. They refused to even train on the Calderon pitch and went to use Rayo Vallecano's pitch. Such was Pep's disgust with the way they let the grass grow, and they hadn't properly watered it either, which affected Bayern's passing. But they can't have it all their own way. And if you look at how Saul scored that amazing goal last week, the grass was long for him as well. But of course, it's easier to dribble over long grass than it is to fizz short passes. So yeah, just looking at Saul, didn't get much of the ball tonight. The poor guy. He had to really defend for most of the game, much like Atletico's whole team really. Who else did I want to give a mention to? Well, just maybe to finish with Fernando Torres. Just wrote a few tweets about him and how amazing it is to see him back. Not only in the Champions League final, that's amazing in itself, but actually how fundamental he's been. So, although his red card cost Atletico in some regards in the quarterfinals, at the end of the day it was his goal that got them through. And then tonight he laid on the pass for Griezmann. And he's been generally really good in La Liga. He had like 5 goals in straight games there through April. And it's just amazing really. And it was all about confidence and love for him, really. That's what his crisis was about. It wasn't only about losing pace through his injuries. It was about he never felt loved at Chelsea or Milan, where he went on loan, and that's where he really hit rock bottom, scoring only like 1 goal in 10 games. He needed to go back to the Colchoneros, to where he grew up, came through the Atletico Madrid ranks, captained the team at 19. He is regarded as one of the club's greatest ever players for that first spell, when he burst on the scene with the blonde flowing hair, El Nino. He was like a fan incarnate on the pitch. He represented the Colchoneros on the pitch. They knew he was from a local barrio, and that he felt the same passion and love for the crest as they do. When he missed out on the Barcelona second leg, they chanted his name from the stands. They absolutely loved him to bits, and he has it's like a symbiotic relationship. He has fed off that love, and that's what's helped him rejuvenate and become at least something like the player he used to be at Liverpool. Obviously, we're never going to see those prolific numbers and amazing goals like we used to. He's 33 now, but there's still life in the old dog yet. And fair play to El Nino. Good luck to him in the final. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow with Real Madrid and City. Cheers for watching this vlog, and feel free to like it, send it around, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, whatever you like. Cheers. Good night.